congratulations, Chris, and all of the guys at Dirt Gear, all of your crew. Is it just you?
Well, firstly, thank you, and very surprised to be nominated for part of that. Yes, it's no longer just myself. We have a team of people now. We've got outsourced marketing person that we sort of even look at. She's part of the team now. We use her so much. We've got a full-time mechanic now on hand, and we've got a part-time detailer to help us
Oh,
get
awesome.
through this. Yeah, so I think we're at 21 vans, brand new van tomorrow. It comes out of Sydney and back to the fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy and pretty full on at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. Well, we obviously think you're amazing, and that's why you've been nominated for the award this year. We've got a number of nominees. I think we've got about 37 who people have been shortlisted for a range of awards, and you're obviously one of them. So we think you're pretty great, and the team at Camplify obviously are really, yeah, we just love working with you. We think you're a great part of our community, and you do great things for our hires, but also you help other people in our community, which we really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you. And look, good luck to all the other nominees out there. And there is some great, I don't know who they are, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I know some of them, and they run a fantastic business. I love their marketing and how they do things.
yeah. Yeah, awesome. First of all, Chris, how did you hear about Camplify and what sort of inspired you to start listening with us? And when did you start?
I think it was back in 2022,
Hmm.
maybe. It hasn't been long, so it's been a short period of time, 3 years. So
April
I was
22. April 22.
yeah, it's on the you looked up my
Yeah.
profile.
Yeah, I looked you up.
So I was lucky enough I had a hip camp on 40 acres right on the river in town.
Yeah.
And we started there, and I thought, oh, this would be great to have a caravan, and I could rent the caravan out on my hip camp, and then I don't have to worry about this. And I really wanted a caravan anyhow. I spoke to the squeeze about that, and we brought a caravan, and that didn't work. And I sort of went, well, I need to get a bit of a return on this caravan I brought, not using it like
Yeah.
how most people join Camplify. And Hip Camp was very much like Camplify, and I jumped on the Camplify thing and started hiring that caravan and was quite successful about it.
Yeah.
So quickly snuck another caravan in there, and it started hiring. And
Was it was it exactly the same one, so couldn't tell, or different?
oh, no, it was one of those Jayco Hawk pop tops.
Yeah.
So it was bloody hard to set up. It'd always be smoking hot, and you'd be bleeding sweat trying to set it up and pack it down, or it'd be pouring down rain, and then you had to reset it back up and dry it out. I only kept it for a while and then sold it and bought some different vans.
Yeah. All right. So you don't have those anymore.
No, both those original vans have been moved on.
So what do you have now? What does your fleet look like?
So our fleet consists of majority of them are modern vans, probably under that 3 to 5 year old. We have a couple of slightly older ones,
Hmm.
but we tried it. We've got a massive investment in the Malibu range of caravans, and I was lucky enough to pick them up as they come off the Lismore flood. So
Right.
I had a friend that had a number of caravans in the Lismore flood, and as they rolled out of that deployment, I was able to buy them, pick them up secondhand, do a lot of upgrades, do a lot of cleaning on them.
Mm.
We've just now signed up as a Havoc dealer,
Okay.
authorized partner, and put into place a purchasing program with those guys to migrate our fleet from the current fleet to all new Havocs over the next 3 years. Uh,
Wow.
and they're a really impressive van, and sort of looking forward to a lower maintenance,
Yeah.
better resale value, and better customer experience as part of that.
So you're yeah, you're really investing in your business growth then by doing these partnerships. I guess this is a focus of you long term.
Yeah, well, I think in I've had a number of businesses over the years, and in any business, you want to partner with people that are experts in the field. Camplify is an expert in the field, so you're going to partner with them. And Evoc are experts in the caravan industry and a fantastic product. So I'm going to partner with them, because if you've got good partners, then that's going to help you in business, and it's going to help back what you're doing and everything else. And that's entire life.
Mm, okay, and obviously makes it easy for you to run as well. Got less maintenance issues.
Less maintenance issues and all the rest. Cost goes up a little bit, but when you sort of look at, in a fleet this size, you're always doing some repairs. You're either replacing window latches or toilet flat knobs or, something along those lines, and maintaining it, because you've got to have your vans looking like new, presenting as new. And, if there's a shelf missing in the fridge, you're going to hear about it, and you don't want to have that conversation with people.
Mm,
Sometimes things go wrong. We miss that shelf in the fridge, but, it's all about trying to fix it, get it done, and do the best you can. And I think if you're honest in what you're doing, and you are trying your best to make the best for everyone and your
yeah.
customers, they see that and they understand that.
Ours definitely appreciate when our owners are trying to provide a great experience for them. I think it makes a huge difference. Do you know maybe off the top of your head how many hires you reckon we might have done now?
Look, I know we've got 250 odd reviews.
Yeah,
We would have to be in excess of 400 to 500 hires. I would believe at this stage.
over five. You've done 534,
Oh, there you go.
and you don't look a day older than the day you started, mate. The first hire.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Pretty
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, and that's now exponentially growing with the number of vans as we've increased that fleet of vans. Yeah, full steam ahead.
Yeah, and so with those over 500 bookings you've done, you must have some great stories. Can you tell me about anything that sticks out, anything that's memorable from your hirers? Obviously, don't break any confidentiality, but there must be something.
Yeah, I've got some brilliant stories. So, one of my early hirers was a lovely mature couple, about 70, off the farm, and they hired a van for, I think it was 2 months.
Mm,
And so we did everything. I set the van off to get serviced, and they did the wheel bearings in it and everything else like that. These couple turned up this van and drove off. They were staying in town for one night before they started going into outback Australia. Lo and behold, it lost its dust cap on its wheel bearing or something like that. And yeah, I'm sorry, you couldn't get this dust bearing wheel cap anywhere. I said, bring it back. I'll swap you over to my brand new van I just got. Hooked them up, swapped them vans over, hooked them up, and he went to leave, and he said, "Oh, Chris, can you just reverse this out of the driveway for me?" And I'm like, "No, where are we going with this?" Anyhow, they travelled from Taree to Broome,
oh
um,
yeah. Whoa.
and back again. They did a serious outback trip. They had their 50th wedding anniversary on the side of the road in that
No.
I've got a picture I'll send through later, but they had their
Is it okay to share it?
yeah. I'll send it through. It's fantastic. And it was like in the red dirt on the side of the road with a bloody road train truck going past, and they're just sitting there, and they loved it. That was, that was a really, really good experience.
Yeah.
Another one we just finished was a couple with 2 kids, about 10 and 11. They hired a van for 3 months and did
Wow.
basically a lap of Australia.
Yeah.
It went to Cape York, to Darwin, to Broome, back to Alice Springs, South Australia, and then back home here. And I've got to find the right words that she said. She said, "Chris, the trip was absolutely fantastic because it broke down all that outside stuff, and the kids and the family and we all got on so well because there wasn't that influence outside. We could sit
Yeah.
there and play cards with the kids, and the kids just grew and fell in love with it. We've got pictures of the kids hugging the van, and so it was called the Van Man, and going, "Oh, we love you," and stuff. They're probably two that stand out, as some of the greatest stories that I've got. The feel good stories.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess it's pretty unique that families get to like go together and be away from technology mostly and just sort of hang out and go camping. It doesn't happen very often, I think. Everyone's so busy. So it's nice that like your caravans and your business gets to provide that for them.
Exactly, and that's, it sounds a bit sucky, but
Yeah.
it's really, it is a good feeling to have and see those sort of people enjoy traveling in Australia, and
Mm,
and enjoy doing it in our van. They didn't even have a Starlink, so they were, off grid, real.
yeah, right. You've also been with us for a little while now. What would you say is the biggest benefit of being part of the Camplify community?
The biggest part of the Camplify community, I made a note on that,
That's
is
right.
that, it gives you the foundation to grow.
Yeah.
It gives you insurance. It gives you exposure. It gives you, you know, a solid group of or a community of other owners that you can chat to and talk to.
Mm.
share tips, ideas, and we cross paths with other hirers out there all the time.
Hmm.
And always have a chat and g'day and how you going. We're not in competition with each other.
Yeah.
There's enough people out there in the marketplace to be able to share that. And that's really helped me grow the brand. Well, without Camplify, I wouldn't have been able to grow the brand. You guys business onto us, and I mean that's the real economics of it all is that Camplify gives us business.
Yeah. Do you know many of the other owners in the community? Do you sort of are you in communication with them, help each other out or anything like that?
I'm definitely in communication with some of the ones locally here.
Yeah.
And I do talk to some of the ones that are floating up north and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
would really like to see, as a community moving forward that, not just Facebook, that we can all have a bit of a get together one day
Yeah.
and groups of us and through some of the online things that you've done, Jake, being able to listen to other people there and you get to know them and meet them and those sort of things. It's absolutely fantastic, and I think it's very powerful because we all learn from each other. And you can learn those things. We've all got the same issues. We've all got the same customers. We've all
Yeah.
had the same experiences.
Yeah.
If we can help each other make sure that that doesn't happen or we're aware of that or anything else, I think that is very, very powerful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of these awards are part of the sort of criteria that we put together was that the people who are nominated are engaged in our community and they help each other. And so obviously you are active in our Facebook group, and I know from chatting with the other team at Camplify, we know that you do help other people out. So thank you for doing that. We think you're pretty great. Obviously, that's why we nominated you for the award. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, might have to widen that lens on the camera a little bit for you, but no, but it makes a big difference because yeah, it's quite unique the situation we're in where we are, hiring out stuff to people. It's not just a big business. It's not faceless. It's not heartless. Like there's real people actually trying to give a better experience, and that builds your business up, right?
That's right. I mean, we're looking after people's holidays. I mean, how would you feel it if you went away from a holiday and, that person let you down or anything else like that? So we're about creating legendary service, and that's what I want to build this business on. And sometimes that legendary service does cost you money, but at the end of the day, it's making sure that customer is right to go. To give you an example, we had a caravan, one of those caravans that did a big trip, crack a
Mm,
chassis, you know,
mm, yeah.
and required a 4.5 hour tow, 8, 9 hour round trip. And I can tell you that tow truck wasn't cheap. The repair wasn't cheap, but we had that picked up one day. It was repaired the next, and the customer picked it up the day after. We just
Oh,
paid for it, done it, fixed it, and I spoke to the customer. I said they still had 4 weeks to go on their holiday. I wasn't about to, tell a family and their kids, "Oh, hey, sorry, your holiday's over."
yeah,
There's some things we just can't help. Some things we can. And whilst that was costly, we just said, just do it. Make sure it's happened. The customer's on the road. They went and spent another 4 weeks touring Australia
yeah.
and got it done. And we had a bit of a chat about it afterwards on how we're going to fix up those costs. And everyone was happy. But they're the things you've got to do to look after the customer.
Yeah,
Believe it, I had an awning blow off in van just this morning.
yeah,
But I've been on the phone. I've got a mobile caravan guy going there this afternoon to look at what he can do, fix the awning, pull the awning off, but keep the customer happy. Do what you can.
yeah.
And I think that's what you have to do because they're customers' holidays. They're going on a break. I would like someone to do that for me, so I'm going to do it for them.
I think there's a big thing to be said, sorry, about like repeat hires and customers if that's how you respond to a bad situation. But obviously, and not a bad situation, but just something that happens. But you know, um, then they can be reassured that if they hired from you again, anything happened, they knew that it would just be fixed. Do you know what I mean? Whereas not everyone in every other sort of business would be that, I guess, attentive to that experience. They maybe some people would say, look, too hard, haven't got the network, it's going to be off the road 3 weeks. Sorry, those people got to cancel their holidays, their leave they've applied for, all that sort of stuff. So the fact that you jump in and do that obviously says a lot about the service that you provide.
Yeah, like I said, it's what I would want if I went away. You're not being demanding or anything else, but you're just saying, "Hey, what can you do to help me out here?" And that's what we're building our business on. There's some times that I'm sure that can't happen, but we just finished a deployment of 13 vans to a wedding venue
Right,
last weekend.
right.
There is so much planning and trying to make that happen. It was just ridiculous. But,
Yeah.
there was another van that was meant to turn up from the hirer. And, the lady rang me and said, Chris, have you got another van? I said, you've taken all the last ones I had. Because this guy couldn't supply the van because the water pump wasn't working. And I was like, mate, drive down to the first caravan shop, get that water pump fixed, get it done, get it out there. You can't. You're
Yeah,
having a
yeah.
wedding.
It's a wedding, mate. Yeah. They get one chance. You can't come back next week.
No, that's right. I think where you can, and like I said, it's not every time you can do it, but hey, you really got to go that extra mile to make sure that if something does go wrong, you can fix it wherever you can, and you do it to the best you can.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And like you're saying, there's a lot riding on these hires, so it's important that you go through them and just troubleshoot along the way. But it sounds like you've got it handled. So with your experience, if someone was a new owner wanting to join Camplify and they wanted to sort of get started and stand out, are there any tips you could provide to them?
Yeah, 100%. Don't just list your van. Tell a story. People don't hire metal and wheels. They're going to hire it based on an experience and confidence from that hirer. So be upfront, have real photos, be authentic, quickly,
Hmm.
and respond to them quickly, and give them all the information they need to know. I think that's the first thing you do. The second thing is you don't need to be cheap. We are probably, from what I understand, one of the most expensive service fees out there in Camplify, and we're at 100. We're at $150 a service fee. Yeah, because the cost of cleaning a van, maintaining a van, and prepping a van, and the checklists and everything that you do, does come at a cost. And whether you're doing it as a hobby, or as a full business, you need to make money on it and get a fair return for it. We have that there because, look, if someone breaks a window latch and it's a $40 window latch at $150 service fee, I just cover it. I don't need to have that ugly conversation for $20 or $40 because the window latch is broken. Just
And
wear it.
the review's invaluable, right? Like if you have 5-star review, that helps.
100%. And we all know how hard reviews are. you,
Yeah.
you know, it is really, really hard to keep your reviews up there. And, the littlest of things could give you a bad review.
Hmm.
And sometimes they happen. Again, if you're doing the best you can and you're being authentic, then I think that shows.
Absolutely. When you have hirers come to take your vehicles away on a trip, what do you do with your vehicles specifically to ensure that they have a good time and they have a good experience? Is there anything in particular that you do in that preparation phase so that you know that they're going to give you that 5-star review at the end?
Yes. So the 5-star review at the end is probably just something that happens. I don't sort of work towards that at the start. But what I do work towards at the start is making sure we give all the information as we can to the customer. So we have a very point form checklist and template system that goes through. So right from when the hirer first books the van, the template goes through saying, thanks very much for the hire. These are some of the things you need to be aware of. If you want linen and Starlink and air in the tires and water in the tanks, you let us know and we'll do that. And then, a couple of weeks later, the next one goes out, and then another couple of weeks later, the next one goes out. So we're really trying to inform the customer as much as we can up front so that there's no hidden things. Some customers probably don't read it. So a lot of customers do read it. A lot of respond, and a lot of will ask the same questions that we've already put into those sort of things.
At least you're communicating, I think, is the point. They know that you're attentive and that you're interested in them.
Correct. And, those templates give them so much information to help them get ready. What does the van have? What doesn't the van have? And you're setting their expectation. Sorry, that's probably a customer calling now. So you're setting the expectation, and that's what we're trying to do, and make sure we understand their expectation. So if we've got an understanding of their expectation, they know our expectation, well, then
Yeah.
that all flows through to the handover process. And then the actual hirer enjoying their holidays and everything else like that. And then when the van comes back, we've got a template system that starts kicking in saying, thanks very much, really happy with all this. And this is what we're going to do moving forward. So setting the expectation for the customer and understanding the customer's expectation and doing that as early as possible and as upfront as you can will make everything else flow through way easier.
Yeah, yeah, and you probably get hopefully less phone calls along the way because they've got everything they need, hopefully.
Yeah, correct. The little joke I tell them, I'm only sober till 5 o'clock, so they get the
Right.
idea that don't give me a call after 5.
Yeah.
And we have van manuals, and those van manuals are, I don't know, I think we're at 85 pages now for the van manual, but that covers all our vans in the fleet. So I print one manual and it goes in there. We have a fantastic online manual. As part of that manual, it's online. So, they can go to the website and view it that way. Anything that comes up, things come up, and you learn from that experience, then it goes into the van manual and it goes into the template. So, we're not doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's getting better and better and better and better because you're learning from any of those mistakes or those things you missed.
Yeah.
Put it into your systems, put it into practice, put it into the manual so that you don't have to do that again.
Yeah, and that reduces your admin long term as opposed to like just climbing that mountain to start, putting it in, getting it out there, and then you have to do it again and again and again.
Correct.
Yeah. Is there any advice or secret spots that you like to recommend to your hirer or anything in particular in your area? I know people are funny about giving away secret spots, but come on. Is there anything unique to where you are that you think is really great that hirers should check out?
Yeah. So, look, we're lucky where we are. So we're on the mid-north coast of Taree, or the mid-coast, the Barrington coast of Taree in New South Wales. So we have a lot of caravan parks in Foster and Port Macquarie and Bulahdelah, from Bulahdelah to Port Macquarie to Coffs Harbour. We've also got a lot of huge amount of national parks. So they're completely off grid and you've got to deal with them separately. So look, some of my favourite spots are just hip camps because you can get really close and away from everyone.
Yeah.
And right down on the water's edge. And there's some beautiful ones at Seal Rocks there. I've got another favourite camping ground, Diamond Head, Point Plummer. And then I think we're off this weekend to a hip camp in Wauchope, just one of the new vans turns up tomorrow. We're going to grab that and do a shakedown in it and see how it works and how it operates. So I know.
Research. Yeah.
Yeah, research, great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that's not live, is it? Yeah, so, you got to know how the van operates. And, so if the customer does ring up, you can walk them through over the phone and understand it. And again, document it, put it in the systems and the processes so that you're not doing that same conversation over and over again. So, no, we've got some fantastic spots up here. Our vans go everywhere, Alice Springs, Cape York, Broome, WA, and there's some absolutely magic spots out there too.
Yeah. Well, I would know because I live in WA, so.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I'm a WA, believe that. I'm in Perth, but I'm very biased. There's a bit of a running joke at Camplify because at any opportunity, I'll just write West is best. And they know I'm a big advocate for WA.
That's probably why if you see a delay on this video conference, it's because you're so far away. You're on the other side of the world there.
It's because I'm still thinking, probably. What has surprised you most about renting out your vehicles on Camplify?
What surprised me the most, look, again, I don't want to sound sooky or sucky about it, but it is seeing people enjoy their holiday. I lived in a world of IT, so I'd sell them a new computer and they go, oh, thanks, that's great. But having customers come back and saying, we just had the best time. It was a great holiday. The caravan probably had nothing to do with it. They were just been able to enjoy themselves and get away from work. But, they had that great holiday. They see the smile on their face. Everything worked really well. And they come back and they're going, we've got to do that again. And we've got a number of repeat customers that have come back time and time and time and time. And I think some of them are up to 4 and 5 or 6 times. Going to the same spot or a different spot, hiring a different van, and then come back and just saying, hey, we just love getting out and seeing people get out and explore Australia, because we're in God's country here.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky. I think the more people we travel, the more times you travel in Australia yourself, the more you realise there's so much more to see.
Yeah.
But you haven't seen everything. There's so a lot.
Exactly. Look, I've been lucky enough to travel a majority of the world, and I just come back from an Alice Springs trip and through the Simpson Desert and stuff like that. And wow, how beautiful is our country. But yet I love going 30 minutes down the road and camping beside a creek, It's just, we've got such a diverse place.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I thought we're so lucky, and you can drive hours in every direction, have a different experience everywhere you go as well. You're definitely right. I think we're very lucky in Australia with what we have around us. You've already answered my next question, which is like, what do you love most about the RV lifestyle? I think. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
Well, the RV lifestyle, just keeping it simple. You know, I can still go camp in a swag or camp in a rooftop. Caravans are way easier. I'm getting a bit old. I got grey on me now. So,
Yeah.
the caravan is so good just pulling up and,
Mm,
opening the awning and you're sitting down and having that beverage and sitting around the fire really
yeah.
quick and you've got everything there and it's the home away from home, but so I can be as simple or I can be sophisticated. Yeah, having a nice van, it just makes life easy.
Yeah, absolutely. If a friend asked you why they should listen to Camplify, what would you tell them?
Why they should list with Camplify?
Yeah, why would you list with us? Or should they
Well,
do
it's
it? Do you think they should do
well,
it?
100% they should do it. If they're gonna listing, it's a tried and true platform. It's proven to work. It's got systems. You guys are very good and have been excellent at putting systems in place to help, new hirers and everything else make sure that, they've done probably some of the right steps, that they're contacting the people that we have to respond within a certain amount of time. And so we should, So Camplify have got that foundation there, those systems in place. They've got the insurances, they've got all those. Why wouldn't you, get on there and make a bit of coin and go from there? And then, hey, one day you might have 21 vans or something, and
Yeah,
it's a full-time gig.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's amazing what you've achieved in what just over 3 years. Obviously, you've gone from what 1 to 21 is how quick the growth
Yeah,
is.
I think we're at 21 vans now. We do have some managed vans.
Yeah,
I think 4 of them are managed vans. So we've sort of looked at that on how we can sort of help some people wanna get an income off their van and yet don't wanna have that conversation with the customer and the management of that and all the rest of
mm,
it. So we can take over that van and do that for them. We've just moved into a massive industrial, I call it a retail location. So now we've got a massive, massive shed. It's 750 square meters big. It's just massive. So we're not doing handovers in car parks anymore. We're not trying to repair the van out the front on the driveway and in the rain and all the rest of it. We've got massive amount of storage and awnings. So the handovers are all done there at that place. The pickups are all done there now. We're starting to sell caravan parts. We're starting to look at doing servicing on caravans because we've got that shed. I've got so
yeah,
many spare parts to maintain the vans that, hey, if you want to pop in and pick them up. And now putting staff on to help, maintain the fleet and help customer handover and keep that legendary service going. So that's been a massive thing for us, bringing the business from a home business into a commercial entity and growing it from there.
I mean, it's amazing what you've done so far, and also I can see that you're setting yourself up to be successful in the future. Hopefully, you get a lot of weekends yourself away, and you get to actually enjoy the caravans yourself. I think sometimes it gets so busy, you get to go back to the whole reason we're here. Sometimes,
Exactly, and that's part of that sneaking away this weekend and sneaking out to the Simpson Desert there a couple of months ago.
yeah. Well, once again, from all of us at Camplify, thank you so much. Like, we think you're great. You've done an amazing job with the hires and for our community. Really pleased to let you know that you are the runner-up of the 2025 Camplify Owner Awards. So you've done very well. There was a short list of, I think I said 37 or maybe more or something, but yeah, you're right up there, and we really appreciate everything that you do. You do such a great job, and yeah, we love working with you, and we just think you're great. So thank you, Chris.
Yeah, look, I appreciate that. And it goes both ways. You guys are awesome to work with. You've really helped me grow my business and pointed me in the right direction, pulled me in line every now and again, and given me a platform that, we can make a very, very successful business on.
Thank you, and congratulations again. And yeah, don't forget to not exit out of the app so that we get to keep this interview. So
I'll hold
I
it
think
on.
I'll press stop, and then